What kind of podcast is this?
Bad Playstyle is a book club podcast.
For video games.
What am I supposed to say again? Welcome to Season 3 of Bad Playstyle. This is our infinite spoiler warning. Skip ahead if you don't want to hear that Metroid is a girl. Or that Zelda's a boy. There, how's that?
Yeah. We swears a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't like that,
You say bad words.
you could send corrections to...
badplaystyle@gmail.com.
Welcome to Bad Playstyle. My name's Matt.
I'm usually It's Chapstick.
And I'm not a shame boy, not yet a shame man.
There we go.
Oh.
He did it right.
Yay.
Finally. Like,
just in
time for him to get a new one.
Yeah.
This is Bad Playstyle. We played Wolfenstein and...
The New Order.
Yeah.
New
Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep these titles straight.
They are frustratingly similar.
Yeah.
You got New Order, Old Blood, and New Colossus.
Well, and also,
Shadow of Mort.
also on the horizon is Wolfenstein: The New Blood.
Really?
Yeah.
Great.
It's about his daughters.
Great.
Shadow of the Mortar Blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Fucking, like, name your games in a way that I can remember.
You do. You just remember all of them is the problem.
What Legos are you playing with today, Alan?
I don't know. I made like a Lego laser gun.
It's a laser gun?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big laser gun I built, and I made it for my Blacktron guys.
Okay, cool. Cool. Keenan, what games have you been playing lately?
What games have I been playing lately? Quite a few that aren't my normals.
Good. Because those are the ones I actually want you to talk about.
Yeah. So I picked up this dumb phone game called The Muscle Hustle.
Oh, damn, I played a dumb phone game too.
Yeah.
So, okay, I just want to stop you real quick. So, about 2 weeks ago, the kids all played this AR game at school where they were, like, bubble-bobbling tanks into each other.
Kind of.
And then all of a sudden, every fucking phone game's bubble-bobble.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, so it's bumper pool with wrestlers and they have stupid powers. And that's the Muscle Hustle.
Are they actual professional wrestlers?
I mean, like, not real people, professional
Okay.
wrestlers, like... But they've, like, definitely put some effort into making wrestling personas.
So I can't get, like, Owen Hart?
No,
and have
unfortunately.
Okay.
Although there is a ridiculously Canadian dude I just got.
Oh, yeah?
His pants are the Canadian flag and everything.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, so that game is dumb enough that I've been playing it.
He's going to hit you with a pile driver, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, maybe my phone game's not stupid in the same way yours is, then.
And
Things
then,
can be stupid in different ways.
Yes.
and
There's
then
so many ways
my
to be stupid.
girlfriend was like, hey, you should play Overwatch with me. And I was like, I'll give that a shot. And I don't suck at Overwatch nearly as bad as I used to, so I've been playing more Overwatch. Because I don't just hate playing it.
Why did you hate playing it before?
Because I never felt like I was doing anything. Like, I never felt like I was making an impact or killing any... Like I literally would play that game, and it felt like I had no idea what that game was about, even though I very clearly understood what that game was about, because I just couldn't get anything done.
Okay. Well, so here's the thing. Are you playing with, like, mostly groups of friends now, or are you playing with pubs?
Just me and my girlfriend.
Okay.
And then randos.
All
But
right.
even, like, I've played a couple single player, by myself, just jumped into games, and it's like, okay, I kind of understand what's going on in this game now, cool. But that game's really busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a lot.
Yeah. I remember, like, I was like a year or two off of playing any TF2 whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more like 3 or 4 years off playing any TF2 whatsoever. I don't know what the timeline is. That's what I'm getting into. And then Overwatch came out and everyone was like, play Overwatch. It looks like a lot of fun. I was like, no, that looks horrible. That looks like not fun for me. Like, go ahead and you play it. I'm not saying
Sure.
it's a bad game, but like...
It's like TF2, but with, like, the needing to know all the heroes the way a MOBA works.
Mm.
And so, like, there is so much to keep track of.
Like, when Overwatch came out, it made me realize how much TF2 was, like, weighted down by the way Team Fortress Classic structured their classes.
Yeah.
Where in Team Fortress Classic, you are
all the classes essentially function the same way, just with different weapons,
like slightly different gear.
Whereas like in Overwatch, like people can fly, people can turn into like a wheel and drive around the map. People can create.
It's a hamster ball, but
well,
no, I think he's talking about Junkrat's.
Yeah, there's a dude
Ultimate.
that turns into a tire, right?
No, he just pulls it off his back.
Oh, whatever.
But whatever, you're controlling a fucking explosive tire.
Yeah, whatever. Turrican would be proud. Like you can do all kinds of weird nonsense.
Yeah. And it's all very character driven in a way that, like, even though TF2 has characters over, like, Team Fortress Classic, it's still the same 9, no matter what.
Yeah.
And, it's this whole... Yeah. It is TF2, but it totally isn't in so many ways because of its more broad character scope. And then I jump back into Siege, because that game's cool. That's all I need to say. They put in a new operator who she throws down a projector on the ground, and it projects a hologram of her standing there staring in a direction.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
that's cool. Not what's cool about it, though. When the enemy shoots it, they get lit up for your whole team about where they are. Like, there's apparently, quote-unquote, software in the hologram that triangulates where they are and tells your team.
Whatever, it's like,
it's like
the swords robot.
It's rad.
So is this par for the course? Like, I haven't actually ever played Siege.
Okay.
Is this par for the course in terms of its sci-fi technology?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of goofy shit in that game.
Because, like, all I know of Siege is, like, you're just, like, dudes with machine guns and, like, little robots and crap.
No, but everybody has powers.
Everybody has technological powers in most cases.
Okay.
There's a dude who's,
There's
like...
low-tech stuff, too.
Because like, all I know of Siege is, like, basically, like, what I saw of the E3 demo before it came out.
Okay, yeah.
Which is just, like, dudes running with, like, shotguns
and that's, like, before they, like, really played up the, like, power
they tuned it
character
to
thing.
fuck up in the last couple seasons.
Okay.
There's
like Team Fortress 2 hats where, like, the original Team Fortress 2 hats are all just, like, actually hats. And then, like, the ones at launch.
Yeah.
And then, like, fast forward, like, 24 months, and, like, all the hats are, like, glowing, whatever.
It's kind of like that. There's some dumbass skins in that game now.
Mm-hmm.
Gun skins get dumber than player skins for, like, a balance thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it gets pretty goofy. My favorite operator in that game is a dude who's, like, 70 and still in the SAS. And he's, like, so old he was in on the storming the Iranian embassy in the 80s. And so the dumb superpower that he has is that he's super old and has been doing this shit since everyone else was in diapers, and they gave him EMP grenades to break everyone's stupid tech toys.
Okay.
So he throws them at you to turn off your advantage to come, like, whack you.
And then he just comes in and fucks you up.
Like, literally, you are playing as the curmudgeon who hates that you have superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My favorite thing is that there's a character in the game called Frost.
Yes.
Who, she lays bear traps on the ground because she's a Canadian operator because...
Sure.
Yeah, G Gundam, right? But, so she got a skin recently that makes the bear... Usually the bear traps are just like sort of flat black squares on the ground.
It's like a suitcase you open up and then it is
so
a
it's
bear
just
trap.
it's just sort of like a flat black geometric shape on the ground. The skin makes the like ridges that pop up into you have spikes on them, so it actually makes it worse because it's more visible.
Okay.
Like to the enemy players, like it's much more visible. So
because it's actually sticking up off the ground.
It
more.
has like a verticality to it that it didn't before. I just think that's hilarious that like the premium skin that you paid like presumably like $20 for.
Yeah, like
right,
I mean, noticeable skins like are a tradition.
Yeah.
Dating back.
So when I play Frost, I am all white.
Sure.
I don't play Frost to blend in. I play Frost to fuck you up with bear traps and a shotgun.
Sure.
Like
bark.
Bark. Yeah. Those are the games I've played.
It's like all the safety orange rifle skins in PUBG.
Right. It's the same sort of thing where it's like, fuck you, I'm right here. Like
or the Road Flare ensemble.
Mm-hmm. Ricky Road Flare. He's a good guy.
That, Road Flare ensemble, I like that.
Oh yeah, that's where we all put on all the brightest red clothes that we can find.
All right.
So we just fucking stick out like glowing road flares
Sure.
from across the map.
Yeah.
That Dead Mouse jacket really took it to the next level.
It did. It's like a red, like, vinyl blazer.
So, like, we had, like, the canonical Road Flare ensemble, and then they put out that fucking hideous Dead Mouse item set for free.
Now,
then,
are you attempting to say Dead Mouse 5?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not going to address that. But, like, here's the thing is...
if we're going to say for 3, like, we need to be consistent.
The minute you put on an armor vest with the Road Flare ensemble, its power, like, diminishes. Because the vest
covers your red
Sure.
t-shirt.
But the Dead Mouse jacket is a blazer that goes over your armor.
Ooh.
And it's even brighter than the shirt.
It's bright red and shiny rather than like cloth material.
Oh, so it has like
it's like vinyl. Like
Yeah.
it's literally shiny.
Oh yeah, it looks like if I put that thing on, my body would. Like,
Yeah, no, you'd melt.
Yeah.
You'd melt immediately.
Like, I would die.
So yeah, I forget what they call it, but Warframe's been doing that for a while. Where they've been taking old models and putting like new light mapping on them, basically. And so they look kind of shinier. A lot of them, like more metal, less plastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if it was like a baby oil look.
No, not like Oblivion when you put magic on things.
Because like that, when I say this is my favorite, I mean it's absolutely not my favorite, but it's like one of my favorite video game effects. Is like, oh, you know what would make this game look good?
Baby oil.
If everything was covered in baby oil.
Yeah.
Yo, if you're into that, you should definitely check out some people making wrestlers in the wrestling game, because it is all about.
You can make some oily.
but
it is all about materials and their.
In that situation, I'm completely uninterested because that they're supposed to look oily and sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
talking
better
about,
when it's out of place. You're right.
Okay, I know I'm making a potential episode title here, but oil out of context is really what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like I want my wooden bow to glisten.
Yeah.
With purple
You want it to be
light.
so shellacked that it's.
Do you remember in Oblivion
Shellac some
when
magic
you would
on.
enchant an item and it would suddenly be covered in like fucking glowing saran wrap?
Yep.
Yeah, I liked it when I actually unironically liked it when you would enchant clothes and it would give it like a velvet sheen. Do you know what I'm talking about?
In Oblivion?
I think it was in Oblivion. Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't Skyrim?
I
Because in
don't know.
Oblivion, when you enchanted stuff, it looked like it was covered in plastic.
I remember doing it with the Dark Brotherhood stuff in Oblivion.
All right,
I like that look. Anyway,
whatever. I purchased Fallout 4 VR, which is an unfinished weekend project that somebody at Bethesda thought was a good idea.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did you pay $60 for it?
I did not.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
I did not pay $60 for it. That was the thing that caused me to buy it, was that it wasn't $60. Yeah. So so there's cool stuff and I'm having fun, but it's very disheartening that it is a Bethesda project. Like that's the biggest thing where it's like,
Did they build the map first again?
no, well, basically, so I was reading an interview because I was trying to figure out how to do a certain thing where they were like, hey, how come Skyrim VR has every single DLC included with it and Fallout 4 has none of them? And they were like, well, we built them off the Game of the Year editions, so we just kind of, And they're like, do you guys have any plans on putting those in? And he was like, made a really like non-committal answer that means no.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so it was like, oh.
I mean, well, it's I'm gonna get in trouble with the PR department if I
say no.
if I make any
If I say
public
anything,
commitments.
Yeah.
One
But it's
way or
like,
the
but
other.
it's just definitely, it's obvious that it's no. Like, the thing's been patched 3 times, and it's been patched by the community like 1,600 times.
Sure.
You know, like, so just to give you an idea, and like, the DLCs all work, but they're horribly incompatible.
Sure.
So like, there's just like missing textures all over the place and stuff. There's multiple projects trying to like fix that.
Yeah, fucking sew it together.
But it's like, it's really cool being in those environments in VR. Like, things pop out a lot more, right? Like the VR thing. So like, I'm walking through an environment and I'm doing the surfing around movement of the teleporting. And you can move incredibly fast in that.
Sure.
And it actually gives me a reason to have a bayonet on my gun.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like, bayonets on my guns were always like, why? Get the fuck out of here. This is stupid.
Why would I want an accuracy debuff and I'm never gonna hit anyone
Yeah,
with this thing?
but and then the way they do scopes is cool. Like, you put it up to your face and it just transitions into just a scope and everything else is black.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is kind of nice. There was a glitch though the other day. I was looking through the scope and I like looked around the scope into the blackness and I saw a red glowing name sort of behind some textures out
like
there.
you were aiming at them, but
Well, I was aiming like close enough to them, and it was like, they're here, and I was like, what? And I like found them through the scope because of that,
Oh,
right? Like,
funny.
and we weren't like technically in combat at that point, so that was kind of fun. And then, yeah, but I have zero interest in using VATS in VR. Zero interest.
Sure.
In using VATS in VR. I want to do.
well, and like the shooting in those games has been good enough that you don't need to.
It's actually you feel incredibly inaccurate because of the like built-in bullet spread. So I actually had to install a mod to make the guns more accurate.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I wouldn't want that type of spread if I'm playing it in VR.
Yeah, because it just feels like I'm fucking up for no reason.
Like, I already got, like...
Why does this gun not shoot straight?
I already have human hand-eye coordination.
Right. I don't need...
Like, I miss enough on my own.
Yeah. So that was cool. And there was a cool part. I went up to... There's one of the spots where there's a bunch of, like, camping cabins full of ghouls.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I went up to one and I'm like, I know there's ghouls in this thing, and they're gonna... When I open the door, they're gonna freak out at me. So I just leaned through the window, pulled my gun out, and just popped them both through the window. And that was like... That felt really cool.
That's good. That's like a good zombie movie moment.
Yeah.
Or like what I feel like I would be able to accomplish in a real zombie apocalypse is like...
It was like one of those aha moments that you feel in puzzle games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, I feel really smart for doing this, but then there's also the sort of detriment of like, this is just because of poor planning on Bethesda's part. This wasn't like a thing.
Because this is a game that's built to be a monitor game first.
Right. And there was another point at which I came up to one of those, those doors in dungeons. They're like, this is barred from the other side. Like, it's the end of the circle in the dungeon. There was one that was like a barricade thing, and there's no, like, comfort vignette in Fallout 4 VR, so you can just lean through walls. I just leaned through the fucking door and broke the chain and opened the door. That was kind of cool, too.
You just like kitty pried your way through the door.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of VR like melee games where you need to be swinging the sword or the melee weapon at like a certain speed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a certain cooldown before you can hit again.
Yeah, before you can like result
in another hit. Yeah. Those are wildly out of tune in Fallout VR. So if I like flail a knife at somebody, I hit them like 16 times and they die.
Nice.
Right? So,
it's what you expect it to be the first time you play a melee game.
Right. So because it's very obvious that this is sort of like a rush job, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm having fun with it. I'm actually thinking about turning on survival mode.
Oh, okay.
So that there's more stakes,
Sure.
involved in this.
More stakes, because you have to eat, I get it.
Yeah, and well, no, that's not what I was... I found myself...
Fuck off with that shit.
I found myself not wanting to fast travel.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, interesting.
And I don't really know why. Maybe it's like an immersion breaking thing or something, but just like, I've just been wandering around in my power armor with like a pipe rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. A pipe rifle that, since it's a rifle, but since it's VR, I use it like a CQB pistol, too. So, like, I'll just, like, aim at my crotch when things run up on me in melee and just, like, unload the clip.
Sure.
And because it's pipe rifle, you undoubtedly have miles of ammunition for
like,
it.
Every time I run into raiders, they're all using 32, so there we go. But, yeah, it's been interesting. I'm interested to try out Skyrim now.
Oh yeah?
I wasn't before. Like I was interested in Fallout 4 VR because of the guns.
How far do you think you'll ever get in Fallout 4
That's
VR?
the other thing that happened. I played it a bunch today, but I played it like 3 separate times for an hour each.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of each session, I was exhausted.
Sure.
Like,
because like I can't imagine playing a game like Fallout 4 in 1 to 2 hour sections.
Well, and it's completely against like Bethesda's design philosophy, right? They're the Facebook of games. They want you to be in their game as long as they can get you there.
Right.
And so like it's this like complete antithesis of what they normally do in a way that's weird.
So just to give you an idea, the first session, the first hour today, right around 1, I'd say, I was playing, I stood the entire time.
Okay.
Right, I stood in VR mode, and my calves sort of started to hurt at the end, so I stopped playing. And then the second time was a dungeon crawl. I did the airbase where you're supposed to go get the locket for the dude at the farm. At the beginning of the whatever. Yeah. People will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember shit from Fallout 4. Well,
so
that's not true, but
I had to go get the locket. He's like, "Oh, these raiders killed my daughter," and I was like, "Well, I will kill some raiders." Like, sure, man. So I went and I killed those dudes. I did the entire thing sitting down.
Okay.
In stealth. Like, I had my gun, and I had my dog, and I was literally sitting down in stealth mode, just going, and if I saw somebody, I just unloaded into them, because I would be, like, right up next to them.
Sure.
And that was that. And then as soon as the fighting part was over, and I had to exit the dungeon in the same linear path backwards, but loot it this time, I didn't want to stand up, so I quit.
Oh.
I saved and quit.
Damn.
And then the third time...
That's kind of damning.
Yeah, right? And then the third time, I pulled out a chair. So I was sitting down, but I was at like a high enough height that I could... and I readjusted. They have... You know how like Griffin and them, and when they're in Fallout, they'll like change the player scale of like creatures and stuff. In the VR menu, you have a slider that just does that to you.
Oh, okay.
So you can adjust it to like what you're comfortable at.
Okay.
You know, and so I adjusted it a little bit higher so that sitting down I was like normal height.
Interesting.
And then just
okay.
roll around like that.
That's an option I haven't seen in a VR game.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. I like that option.
It's sort of weird thinking about this because it makes me wonder, like, how many other games are going to have tacked on VR and how far does that go?
Well, like, but it's like every studio wants to like get their feet wet and learn how to VR,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's why there's a lot of like shallow VR games or shooting galleries or taking existing games and bolting VR onto them. Like that's why VR Payday exists, is because
VR Payday is fucking fun.
Well, sure, but like that studio wants to have the chops to make a VR game.
Sure.
And so, like,
so they use their existing game.
Here's a way for them to get
workshop
their
that.
here's a way for them to get their feet wet. It has low stakes. No one has to buy Payday VR.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to try Payday VR, you can. And if it sucks ass, no one's gonna fucking crucify them for making a bad VR
Well,
game.
and same for Bethesda,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, these are both very successful games for them already. It's a good framework for them to slap this into and figure out how it works because they know how all of it works already.
People in Fallout 4 look fucking weird and alien.
Yeah.
But like even more in VR.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's turned up. So like you're like,
Yeah.
why do you have like a fucking like Star Trek alien bird face, dude? Like
Yeah.
what's going on? What did you eat?
I could see that because I feel like the camera angle from a monitor standpoint in Fallout 4 is very flat. So as soon as you put that like depth into it, I could see stuff getting
Well,
weird.
it's also you are always in first person.
That's what I mean.
Right?
Like,
In Fallout 4, normally you pop into third person when you're in conversations and stuff. That doesn't happen.
Can you imagine if a game like Brink was a VR game?
Ugh.
Where people have like
they have the giant noses.
yeah,
and
the super weird like,
Like, why aren't you making Skeksis noises, guys?
Yeah, I was just thinking like, what's the most like fucked up trying to pass as human facial design I can think of? And by the way, I'm not like calling the art style in Brink fucked up. Like it's like their own thing.
Right. It worked for the game.
Yeah, exactly. But just like seeing that in like with your own eyes, like being present.
Yeah, that'd be intense.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
Oh,
I'll be playing it more in the future because I'm still having fun with it.
Cool.
So we can check back in next time. But yeah, what have you been playing, Chapstick?
Hey, it's your boy Chapstick.
It's your boy.
Yeah.
Chapstick.
Like, comment, and subscribe on my videos. No,
Oh boy. If you liked the video, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, September 12th, Judkins Park, noon. Okay?
Fight me.
Yeah.
Fight me.
I got a phone game, and it's called Really Bad Chess.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like this name.
It's extremely good.
I've seen it on the store, so I'm curious.
No, you should get it. It's extremely good.
Okay.
So like,
This is a paid game or? Is
no,
this a free
well, it's a free game, and you can like buy the ads away.
game? Okay.
So I hate.
That's a good model, everyone.
Yeah, it's good. I'm on the fence if I'm gonna buy it or not. But so like I hate chess. I hate playing chess because
Chess is not a game.
it's a huge pain in the ass to get good at chess, and it's a lot of memorization, a lot of learning.
There's a lot of grind at chess.
Yeah.
Turns out.
Does Dota have a chess problem or does chess have a Dota problem?
I hate both those games. So
For similar reasons.
Artifacts.
So Really Bad Chess gives you a randomized set of pieces and your opponent a randomized set of pieces.
Okay.
But
I
then-
like chess variants a lot, so I like where this is going.
But it's on a difficulty slider, so the lower the slider is, the more stacked in your favor the board is at the start. So if you played at 0 level difficulty, you'll start with like 5 queens and 3 knights and only like 4 pawns.
Okay.
You still start with 16 pieces.
And you're playing against a computer every time.
Yeah. And the computer also gets like a randomized board state.
Okay.
And so like playing on the low difficulties is like super fun because like I can play like an impulsive idiot who can't see more than like 2 moves ahead.
Okay.
Because like I have the tools I need to succeed like when I wouldn't.
I mean, if you
otherwise.
have more than 1 queen in chess, like...
Okay, but like what if I have 5?
Okay.
If you have 5, you can lose 3.
Yeah.
Even
if
4.
If I have 5 queens, I can trade 2 queens to take their 1, and then like that's a come up for me.
Because he doesn't lose that offensive power immediately.
Yeah, so I was
good.
playing on the lowest difficulty at first, and just like having a great time. And
Now, okay, at what point does this paradigm shift in the difficulty
well,
scale?
so
All right,
I'm getting to that. This is my story. I realized at one point if I trade any piece that's not a pawn or a queen for any piece that's not a pawn or a queen with them, at any opportunity, even if it's trade, or if I trade them, any like face piece or whatever, it's a come up for me because I just have more queens than them.
Sure.
And so, like, I can just, like, make the most aggressive trades possible. And then just eventually their army is so whittled down and I still have so much
you just
left.
win by attrition.
Yeah. And once I realized, like, that's basically what I was doing, it got, like, a lot less fun and I actually felt tempted to, like, start creeping up this difficulty slider.
Have you creeped it up from 0 at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm up on 5 and it's out of 20.
Okay.
And I think I could go up to 10 right now. I haven't done 10 yet, but 5 is easy enough for me that I think I can keep going.
It's an interesting approach to chess to do it that way, because I feel like you start understanding the value of things in a different way. That now I'm curious, like, how that translates to regular chess.
Oh, I'm sure this probably in no way makes me a good chess player. like this probably this is like going to like
really
swimming
bad
lessons.
chess.
This is like going to swimming lessons and like learning to swim wearing water wings. Like,
right.
You're actually going to learn to swim very badly.
Yeah.
Like you're going to probably be a worse swimmer.
Sure.
Because you come to depend on these things. But I don't know, man. Like there's something like the 5-year-old in me really enjoys that I can.
But it's like clusterfuck of pieces. And...
Well, no, there's like this specific experience. I can put my opponent in check on the first turn sometimes because you'll get like bishops in your front line, and so like first move you just zoom across the board and take out a piece and put their king in check, and like you'll lose the bishop, but like
it doesn't matter.
That
They're
wasn't the
already
point.
on their back foot.
First turn check, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Also, the game does this great thing where like the computer has to think on its moves, right? And depending on like what you did, it takes longer or shorter to think. And I have no idea if this is actually the computer thinking or if this is like an artifact.
Like built in.
I think it's actually real because like there's definitely some times where the computer had to think very hard about what it was going to do. And
that's really interesting too.
Ordinarily, that would bother me. That was like, why am I waiting? Like, fucking do your move already, nerd.
No,
but like, there's like all these times where like
There's a satisfaction.
There's a satisfaction like. Yeah, bitch. Like, what are you gonna do? Like,
yeah, it's like slapping the chess clock back like 1 second after they slapped it.
Yeah,
and they have to spend like 20 seconds being like, wait, what?
Yeah,
what just happened? Oh, I just missed some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I wonder what kind of AI they have behind it. My brain. Like...
Also, there's like you can undo moves. You know, it's like ultimate dummy chess.
Yeah, awesome.
There's like a ranked mode where you don't get undos and stuff like that.
Oh,
and you can also play it 1-on-1, like with real people.
Okay.
And I think those are paid features. I just play the free play because like that's all I want.
Why not?
And then I don't know. That's about it. I played Donut County. That came out yesterday, I think.
Okay.
It's like a weird Katamari Damacy game where you control a hole in the ground that swallows up objects, and the more objects you swallow, the bigger your hole gets. You guys saw it. Like, you guys came in here and I was playing it.
Yeah. We tried to peer pressure Keenan into letting us play it.
It's weird and charming.
Yeah, it is weird and charming, and it's very funny. But I don't know. That's all I got to say about it.
Sure.
It's a real chill-out game. It's not hard at all or anything.
Is it Wolfenstein?
Is it Wolfenstein?
Did you
I'm
not?
upset.
You didn't like that?
I'm upset.
Spoilers. If you haven't played Wolfenstein, the new old Order Blood, then the first one.
Blood to Order.
Blood to Order. Made to order. Now's the time to back the fuck out because we're going to talk about...
We're going to talk the shit out of this game.
We're going to talk about Totenkopf.
Yeah.
So Wolfensteins, I just want to start out by saying I did enjoy this game, so the following... You should bear that in mind.
Okay.
This game aged like a dog turd that came out white.
Okay.
I think that it shows its cracks really, really hard, and especially coming from the perspective of someone who the last first-person shooter they played was Doom 2016. Mm-hmm. Like the last this type of thing. It's definitely really obvious.
This game's only 2 years older than that.
Sure, but it's very obvious that like they learned a lot from this game.
This is a different studio.
Sure, but they learned a lot from this game and applied it to Doom, right? Like they were like, so this thing kind of works almost, and then there you go. Like, I can't find enemies before they find me. I always find them because they're shooting me, which I think that's a problem.
The stealth in that game is really on or off. Like, you either sneak through the whole level, or a loud gunshot happens and everyone runs at you in the entire level.
Well,
Like-
no, not just, and that's another problem I have. Not everyone in the level runs at you. Everyone in the level plus 200% guys who came from nowhere,
Yeah.
including areas that you'd already cleared.
Mhm.
So that's annoying.
Yep.
Yeah, I needed to get that off my chest. Hey, Owen, you like this game? Talk about this game.
I like this game a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually, so like you brought up this the reaction of enemies to like breaking stealth,
Mhm.
right? Like I actually like that this game's stealth is just slight enough that, at least in my experience, I have never felt compelled to restart a level because I broke stealth. That like the rewards are not so delicious to playing stealthy,
Okay.
and the stealthiness is like just slight enough that I never really want to commit to doing it. That it's like anytime a mission starts in stealth, like I'll do it, and I'll do it until I fuck up, and then I'm gonna fucking shoot my machine gun at people.
It's that loop of like in GTA, right? Like you do things clean, and then there's a point where like I need to blow up 9 cop cars right now,
Mhm.
right? Like
Well-
it's that, but in this game,
The game I was sort of likening it to in my head is the way XCOM 2, you start in concealment. And any mission in XCOM 2 where you start in concealment, like I've finished a few missions like super stealthy, but like quite frankly, any XCOM 2 mission where you start in concealment, ultimately the plan is to end the mission not in
Well,
concealment.
concealment is a resource, not
Yeah,
a state.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I always mentally approached being in stealth in Wolfenstein the same way.
Okay.
yeah. And there's so many things in Wolfenstein that demand like rock and roll ass shit.
sure,
I really
anyways.
like your point about the rewards for stealth not being so great that you feel the need to restart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that ultimately being like, oh fuck, and restarting the game and like reloading your save. Ultimately, that's a failure of
of the
like
design.
because it's a cooperative failure between you and the designer,
Mhm.
right?
I mean, like, I don't know if I have a problem with that. Like, if I fuck up in Hitman, like, that's
But that's like a stealth game. That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like, like, I guess the sort of thing that they're going for makes it okay, right? Whereas, like, there's been first-person shooters I've played where it's been like, you know, I really want to get this, I really want to do this stealth thing, even though the other thing's an option.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Deus Ex.
Yeah. I was just about to say it. Like, Deus Ex is like a game where, like, you can play it stealth, and if you, like, switch in your head that, like, I want to play this game stealth, like, it'll drive you to restart missions
Right.
or load saves or whatever.
So I came back to this game because you'd picked it, and I was like, okay, I'll play that again. Just
Oh, yeah.
remembering, like,
Yeah, so Keenan and I have played this through before.
Yeah, you guys should talk, because you talked about this briefly last time, but you guys should...
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I forgot how fucking narrative this game is. Like, just in general.
Well,
Like-
my favorite part of this game is where it's an adventure game and not a shooter.
Yeah, like there is so much like weird flavor and character in this game that I'd completely forgotten about. Even though half those people are in the second game that I literally played last year, right? Like it's interesting because I remember when this game came out, we were all like, "Wait, what? A Wolfenstein game has a good story? What the fuck?" When it happened, but at the same time, like even coming back, I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is still a pretty good story." Like
I feel uncomfortable calling it a good story just because that's reductive. It is a really incredibly dumb story, but it is an engaging and fun one. So I just want to put that out there. 'Cause
yeah, but
it's-
Wolfenstein games before this didn't even try.
No, they didn't
the
even try it
narrative,
all.
right? Which is what I'm saying. Like
Well, what was the last Wolfenstein game before this you played?
Return to Castle,
Yeah, like
which is a Quake engine. Like
all I'm saying is like I feel like we may even be talking out of our ass a little bit because like there's like an era of Wolfenstein games like I didn't even touch.
fair.
I think I've played most of them for like at least an hour.
Did you play like the 09 one?
Maybe.
What was the 09 one?
It's the last one before this one.
Okay, I definitely didn't play that.
Yeah.
I feel like I've played most of them, but I don't remember all. Like the thing about Wolfenstein is that it is incredibly forgettable, even now with these games.
I don't think these games are forgettable. I like
I forgot a lot. It turned out.
really?
Yeah,
Okay,
I thought
but,
it was
like-
weird.
Yeah, there's some pretty forgettable stuff that goes on, but there's also some pretty like
There's
I mean,
things
like,
that stick with me for sure.
There's stuff
but...
that sticks with you, but there's a lot that sort of just is like, yeah, like just let it wash over me. This game really reminded me in its flow of Die Augen die Welt. What was the game, the spy game that you made us play?
I can't think of what it's called.
The
right
Eyes
now.
of the World. You know?
I remember
Yeah.
the game. I don't remember the name.
Is it Neon?
Neon Struct.
Neon Struct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Neon Struct, but I, for some reason, thought that was wrong. Anyway, yeah, so there was like, you do the action sequence, and then you'd go to a place where you were utterly sure that there would be no action, and you're just talking to people.
Yeah, because
Right.
the protagonist's gun goes away,
Mhm.
and it's like, okay.
Mhm.
So if someone attacks me right now, it's because the story commands that someone
Right.
has attacked me.
Right.
That's
That was a really fun thing for me because I was exploring the like resistance base under Berlin, and I ran into one of those chains that you cut apart, and I'm like, well, I definitely don't have my chain thing right now, so this base is definitely getting attacked. At some point.
Yeah, like it telegraphs stuff a lot in a way that I thought was fun. So Owen,
What's up?
Did
What's
did you save the private this time?
Oh yeah. So the first time I played it, I saved Fergus.
Yeah,
Because
And-
Fergus is the best.
Fergus is pretty cool.
Fergus, I like Fergus more as a person.
Yeah.
Wyatt. It turns out, the reason I didn't save Wyatt on my first playthrough is because he just seems like a little white bread farm boy.
And he has like nothing interesting about him in the moments before that.
Yeah, like your introduction to him is he has like 2 lines.
Yeah, he's
He's
the
like, oh, geez, thanks,
And-
mister.
and
he's the
Like-
white behind the ears private.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he does literally nothing and contributes nothing. And I'm sitting there going, okay, so Totenkopf's gonna kill one of these guys. Which one of these guys is gonna be more useful as a resistance member later? Oh, guess what? The guy's been doing this for literally ever.
Yeah, the guy who like talked me through
Yeah,
jumping
me,
into,
BJ.
into another plane.
Yeah,
me, son of the Doom Slayer, like
Yeah.
father of.
So, fuck that shit. It's like those people who want every Zelda game to be connected.
No, but there are things about this game that are very proto Doom
Sure.
in a lot of ways.
But like, see, on my first playthrough, I saved Fergus because I thought Wyatt seemed lame.
Mm-hmm. I did the same thing.
And on this playthrough, I confirmed that Wyatt is exactly as lame as he seems. Like,
But Jimi Hendrix is dope.
yeah, but like that's the bullshit thing about the dichotomy
Yeah.
of like
Yep.
picking who to save is the thing that makes Wyatt's playthrough cool has literally nothing to do with Wyatt.
Yeah.
Is that literally Jimi Hendrix lives in your base and you get to drop acid with him and hang out with him.
Instead of Weird Math Lady, it's Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Oh, was it the math lady? It wasn't Max Haas?
Yeah.
No,
Max Haas is dope.
Yeah, he's in both.
Okay.
Max Haas is in the second game.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
He's
Max
great.
Haas is great.
I thought it was the Nazi and Max Haas as a combo were the characters that you
No.
thought for picking Fergus. But it was Math Lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who I actually like a lot.
Yeah,
She was fine, but I was very confused in my playthrough why she never interacted with anyone but me, and why she never contributed in any meaningful way to the resistance at all,
Well, Jimmy's the
and
same
why
way.
she wasn't
Yeah.
on any missions. And now that I understand that she was like a special character,
Yeah.
They are both removed from the group as a result of being the swing point.
Some of her dialogue where she's like expositing this philosophy, I was like, Matt, the guy who's read books, was like, I understand the thing. I actually do understand the things
I
you
get
say,
where you're going.
and you have reached the incorrect conclusion. Could I please tell you how you've reached the incorrect
But
conclusion?
you're BJ, and he don't know.
BJ's like, oh, I'm gonna go fuck a lady with non-rendered hair. I'm Steve Renner. Like, yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff where like the guns and like the feel of this game. It doesn't help that Mick Gordon did the soundtrack, right?
Sure.
But there's a ton of stuff where I'm like, yo, Doom definitely borrows some themes here. Like,
Mhm.
Anytime you do like a melee takedown in that game, I'm immediately in glory kill mode in my head.
Sure.
Like it's just that shit like all over the place in a way that's really funny to me.
Like I love the canned animations when you do melee
Mhm.
takedowns because like there's like this part of me that's living out what's the name of that actor from Inglourious Bastards, the guy who plays Hugo Stieglitz.
Yeah.
The everyone in the German army has heard of Hugo
Yeah.
Stieglitz. Like he just like fucking murks a
Yep.
dude with a dagger in
Yeah.
the basement in that movie, and so like there's a part of me that's like living that out every time I creep up on a Nazi
Yep.
officer and it's like ankle, throat, stomach, like
Yeah.
and like turn them.
He
into a bloody
never
pile.
hits him just once.
Yeah.
It's never like.
Oh
one
no,
and
and
done.
it's like a real hateful thing. Like
Yeah.
you can feel it. Like yeah.
You can feel the anger in it.
I really like. I remember liking them a lot the first time, and still like, oh yay, these are still
Yeah,
here.
yeah. And they never got old to me.
So
Like,
and all like all the recordings
There's one of the
of
games
what's
where
her
he-
face's cousin.
oh yeah.
Like I love those where she's like literally just like fucking Nazis and killing them
So
all
I
the
never listened to
time.
any of those.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, you missed like one of the best parts of the game.
Did you listen to all of them, Keenan?
I've listened to all of them, yeah.
Okay, so it's not her cousin.
Oh, is it her?
It's her.
Okay.
It's about when she went to college, and she's a fucking serial killer.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
no,
been
not
killing
like,
Nazis
not like
for
a
like
serial
10
killer,
years.
but she's been like low key murdering Nazis for like
you talking about
ages.
your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, like, I was wondering why she lacked all characterization. So, it
Yeah.
must have been because they wrote it all into that part. She seems pretty flat, that's all I'm saying. I should, yeah.
So the thing about that game is, and you said it earlier, it's very...
It's
its
a product
era.
of it's a
It's
product
very
of
its
time.
era because so much of the expository shit in that game comes out in the collectibles and the like
Yeah.
the stuff you're getting throughout the game handed to you.
I think there's also just like a cool amount of just like back matter that you can paw at a little bit. There's like all the newspaper clippings on the wall and all the set dressing. Like when you're in the London Nautica, they never call him by name, but like the London Nautica is clearly run by Wernher von Braun.
Yeah,
There's a big statue
that
of him.
statue of him at the
Braun,
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he even like there's a quote of him talking about his childhood and things like that. Like and like if you don't know, Wernher von Braun, rocket scientist for the Third Reich, he was the mastermind of the American space program in the 60s. But like even when he lived in Germany, he had grand designs for sending people into space and colonizing other planets. He wrote a book called Die Mars Project. Which like is played out, frankly, in Wolfenstein.
Yeah. Yeah, because you go to the moon and it's there.
Well, and there's the Die Venus Project.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Which they hint at in one,
Yeah.
and you go to it in
Yeah.
two.
That's cool.
And like there's so much stuff where like there's like one part where you hear like a radio broadcast and it like reads a quote from a quote anonymous poet. And just like the way they build that world and the way they like to pluck things out of real history and like
There's a
Peppermint.
there's a
Leave them in.
Beatles song in German. There's House of the Rising Sun in German.
that's
like
not a Beatles song.
those are both two different songs. Like I don't remember what Beatles song it is because I don't
Yeah.
speak enough German.
So
but-
it's not a real Beatles song.
okay.
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
It is a song written in the tone of
Okay.
the Beatles.
It does its job then.
Yeah.
But there is House of the Rising Sun in German.
Yeah,
like
it's written as like a German polka song,
Mhm.
and then the fake Beatles song is called Mond Mond Ja Ja, which means like moon moon yeah yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Not
sure.
not a real Beatles song.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And they're called.
But it totally feels like one.
But this like there's like that quote by the anonymous poet, and it's like when I'm hearing that, it's like okay, they're probably pulling this from like this is like a thing. This
Mhm.
isn't just like
right.
anonymous nonsense.
The first time you guys played this game, did you ever find yourself getting lost in levels frequently? As far as like not knowing what to do next, or not knowing where the button was, or like missing the button.
It's
multiple
really
times.
good at not showing you the button sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
or like not knowing which grate to saw open.
I never had a problem with that. Like
I had a problem
There's
with that
there's a number of times where
frequently.
like in missions, I wouldn't know immediately what to do and would like figure it out like relatively quickly. Also, like if you really can't find it, the game will just like highlight it after a while.
Yeah. That I found myself getting lost frequently in these levels of like not knowing which way to go or what to do, or like getting the wrong, like the game did a very bad job of communicating to me what verbs I needed to use in the game to move the game along.
Okay.
And like at what points it was appropriate to use those, because it's like, here's this laser saw, you can completely ignore it until you can't, and then you need to use it.
Okay.
Right.
I never had a problem with knowing when to use the lasercraft work,
But that's just an example. There was
Sure.
like times where it's like, you know, you go to this room and it should be obvious what to do, and I'm in there and I'm like, it's not obvious what to do. And after like 2 or 3 minutes, I'll find the button that was like looked like every other piece of thing, but this one's suddenly interactable.
There is a thing I found this playthrough that I completely missed last time that would have very much changed the way I played.
Mm.
The first time I played through the game, I loved using the big mounted machine guns that you can rip out of their mounts.
Yeah.
Like, I love using it because, like, it's just a dumb power fantasy. Like, I have the big heavy machine gun and I'm going to waddle around slow as fuck.
I'm the big dumb American killing hella Nazis.
If you take those things up to the laser craftwork recharging stations, you can recharge those.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I never picked up on that the first time. They never tell you. It's just that it has the same ammo gauge as the laser craftwork.
I picked up on that, which made the moon level really easy because I was like, I already know how to get my fucking ammo back.
I wanted the moon pistol the rest of the game. I wanted the white moon pistol the rest of the game.
The Moonraker laser?
No.
They give you a special pistol.
They give you a pistol that's the same pistol, but it's white, and I wanted that thing to be my pistol the rest of the game. But no dice.
It would have been cool if they even carried that over into like the second game.
Yeah.
It's like BJ's space gun.
Yeah, that'd be a cool like touchstone, you know? Everyone's outfits were like, I don't think they translated very well from the concept art. They're a little busy. Like, what's going on?
Like, actually, the outfits actually remind me, like, this game in a lot of ways reminds me of playing, like, Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the character design is also that way.
Right.
Like,
everybody has very short hair, too, was the thing I was
earlier.
Yeah.
It was like, do we want to invest in hair tech this game, or do we want to invest somewhere else? Like, okay, everyone's got, like, buns and, like, simple hair. Yeah. And, like, the few times where they try and get kind of wild with the hair, it kind of shows that their hair tech, like, ain't... Like, Jimmy's hair don't look great. You can definitely tell that, like, Jimmy's hair is, like, a series
There's the black dude from the prison whose hair is just, like...
Oh, yeah.
It looks real bad.
Bombata?
Yeah.
I love Bombata.
Oh, he's great.
He's the shit.
His outfit's a little confusing,
right?
but...
Yeah.
Like, he's, like, barely in one, so, yeah, if he's not in two, I'm a little mad.
It's really weird to me that the submarine is so undefined in the first game.
Yeah. So the submarine's your hideout in the second game?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But it's like the submarine in the second game, like, has character the way the hideout does, right? Like, it is...
So you're in it for, like, 10 minutes.
It's in this, like, lived-in place. In the first game, the submarine, like, super doesn't matter. Like, is it the same submarine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you use it to shoot down the wall of his castle.
Yeah.
Because it had, like, 1,000 dudes
that
in it.
red space magic
so,
orb thing.
I wanted to say, like... I never, ever wanted to use any weapon other than the assault rifle, which is, I think, a testament to how the assault rifle feels.
It's a very good gun.
It's a very good...
It feels really good, but then there's this, like, there's this precipitous drop-off where there's this point in the game where suddenly there are enemies who need multiple clips of assault rifle emptied into them before they'll die, and I think the game does a very bad job of communicating with me what the damage state of an enemy is.
Yeah, that's definitely, especially with the big robot enemies. Like,
well, so like with the robot dog that you have to fight in your base, that was a particular gripe of mine because earlier in the game, in the intro, where you have to like shoot that off of where Fergus and all the other Marines are, he says it's immune to small arms. He literally states that, and so when I'm in there, I'm like, okay. What do I have? Well, and I think, like, I eventually whittled it down with the laser craft work, the little bit that recharges, but it took, like, 10 minutes of me, like, shooting this thing, and the whole time I'm like, am I damaging it? I don't know. Its character model is not changing at all.
Especially that enemy in particular, the Panzerhound or whatever. There's definitely
you spend the whole game running from it.
Yeah. There's definitely times in the game where they use it. They basically use it like it's the fucking xenomorph.
Right.
You know, it'll just spring out, and you're supposed to run away from it for this section.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to, if it pops out here, you just can't go down that hall, and you have to find a different way through. Like that happens in your base.
Right. So I think
it happens multiple times.
It's like a cool catharsis moment, right?
Yeah.
And there's a part right before you kill it where you do basically the same thing but lower stakes. No, it's that sets up the boss fight with Toten Cove. Of like, you're not going to be able to see that the enemy's taking damage, but it is. Just keep shooting it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It sets up that idea, which is cool, like, between those two scenes, but that scene with the dog running around in the bottom of the base in the hangar bay, then juxtaposed with the rest of the game, is bad communication.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I remember on my first playthrough...
It's making you unlearn a lesson that it hard taught you.
I remember the first time I played through the game when I got to the helicopter bay at the London Nautica. Like, you have to fight that big robot before you can leave.
Yeah.
And, like, that was, like, the first time, like, I had this moment of, like, shooting at it and fighting it and, like, not really getting, like, is my gun doing zero damage to it?
Yeah, there's zero feedback.
Yeah. There's... I wish I could remember if the second game remedies this at all, but like honestly, the second game is as much a whirlwind as this game.
Mhm.
You know, like I played it.
I
in,
think
like,
I think
one
the
or two
tech in the
evenings.
second game does a better job of like armor starts flaking off of things. You get a better feel for.
Yeah.
Well, and definitely like the individual Nazi troopers. If you shoot them once their whole chest becomes just like a horrible gore show, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, but the bigger enemies are difficult.
Mhm. And then they
think
take an exceptionally exorbitant amount of bullets to kill.
I think they sort of remedy it in the DLC to this game, which is actually a prequel.
Oh yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So like the beginning of this game is like set in the 40s, and it's like the first like 20 minutes of the game, and then it's set in the 60s. So all the weapon assets and all the soldier assets don't get used anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, that's really spendy.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, just like all the soldiers, all the guns, all the tanks, all the robots in the air. And so it's really crazy that they did that. And it's like, no, of course they made like a standalone DLC that's set in the 40s where all the enemies...
Where you actually go to Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah. Keenan theorized that those two things were one game and that they were chopped apart at some point during development.
I think the New Blood has a more compelling storyline and also is good because it's not what you expect.
Right, but then this game needs to come first because it is what you expect, as far as like an introduction to the series.
Okay.
So.
There's also some shit in the New Blood that like they couldn't have gotten away with before the New Order or the Old Blood.
I mean,
there's some weird, fucking dumb paranormal shit in the New Blood.
Oh, I know. You fight like a demon at the end. Or
yeah,
something,
like
right?
like there's some shit in that game where it's like it's definitely like. Raiders of the Ark, Lost Ark, Nazis getting into occult shit, like stuff. There's fucking zombies all over that game.
Sure.
And that wouldn't fly without that having been a thing already. Like, it's a weird thing.
So, I wanted to briefly touch on the Hebrew scientist man.
Hell yeah.
Set Roth?
Yeah, Set Roth. So, he hams it up in a way that makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, his whole like peppering in of like Yiddish words,
sure,
and like the whole way that he speaks.
He's a bit much.
It's a little bit too much for me to be comfortable with. It feels. It doesn't feel like you're honoring that. It feels like you're just sort of poking fun at it. It feels like it crosses the line. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe that's just me.
It didn't feel that way to me, just because I like he's one of the characters I feel a lot of warmth to. I
definitely like him.
Yeah.
I definitely like him, but I'm definitely like, really?
He's better.
Really?
You get more of him in the second game.
We're not talking about the second game.
I know, but he's better justified in the second game. Like, the things you're saying about him in the first game, I totally feel.
Sure.
But they do a good job of, like, coming in and fixing that later.
Like Star Wars rules, talk about the media at hand.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the extended universe here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... I forgot how much this game sets up the second one.
Oh, sure.
In like a, whoa, everything here, sort of way.
Well, they have like a 3-game arc planned.
I definitely got that feel after playing the first one again, was like, oh yeah, there's probably more of this.
Sure. I saw like the expectation when the first game came out is like, am I gonna fight Mecha Hitler at the end?
Right.
And like the first game,
you kind of do.
You kind of do.
Yeah.
You almost do. You fight a mecha thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh weird, it's not Mecha Hitler. You kind of knew it was gonna be your friend all along, right? When you crack it open, but it's like, oh weird, so Mecha Hitler's not in this game, huh? You know, but then also it's like they're setting the stage like, okay, so we can put a brain on a robot and make it fight you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I know we're not like talking about the second game, but like in the second game, Hitler's in that game. He's old and dying. And also like they get into like weird head transplant technology in that game. It was like, okay, guess who the boss of the next game's gonna be?
Yeah.
It's fucking Hitler's head on a giant
there's
robot.
a lot of weird ass foreshadowing in the first game, and it made me realize there's a lot of stuff that's foreshadowed in the first game that wasn't in the second game in a way that was like, oh shit, there's more.
But it is in the third game.
Well, no, they're we don't know, right? But if there's a third game, they have lots to work with still in a way that's really cool.
Keenan, do you see any parallel to Blazkowicz's portrayal in this to like Captain America?
Yeah, totally.
He on his face appears to be the Aryan ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's this like blonde-haired, blue-eyed, square, like lantern-jawed, handsome man who can fight fucking anybody. More
importantly, can literally survive anything.
Yeah, no, that's the thing I wanted to bring up is this game right off the bat and throughout the rest of it reminds you you're goddamn invincible. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like really,
Blastoise cannot be killed in a meaningful
in a really
way.
like sometimes there's torture porn sort of way. Like,
Oh, totally.
I love how Booby is straight up like, there's something wrong with your cerebral cortex right
Yeah.
before you stab him 3 times in
Well,
the head.
God.
Yeah, no, I understood it. As soon as he said
They
it, he was
just
like,
keep,
cool,
like-
cool, thanks, Hitler.
no, like they keep giving you like reasons that he is the way he is, but at the same time, like it's just not. No. Like,
I just love it because like Captain America and Superman, for that matter, are both like characters that are like almost meant to fly in the face of their oppressors.
Mhm.
You know that like Captain America is what the Nazis wish they were.
well, and they even play with that theme even more. Like they dig into Blazkowicz being that more and more and more as the games go
Well,
on.
do you remember what I was saying earlier about, I understand what you're saying, but I believe you have reached the wrong conclusion?
Yeah,
Right? Like, that's Captain America.
yeah.
Right? So, I want to talk briefly about how the shotgun in this game literally made me nauseous with its fucking 45-degree angle of attack.
Oh, really?
I hated it.
So I have a bone to pick with the shotgun in this game, and it's that the shotgun in this game is extremely powerful, and it never feels powerful.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It feels like shit.
Yeah.
It feels like shit to use, and I hate it.
Yeah.
And I chalk it up to it being a video game shotgun, and video game shotguns aren't allowed to be cool.
Mhm.
It's like spears in anime. Like, if you're picking up a spear, automatically you can't be the main character.
Mhm.
It fucking sucks. I hate it, because spears and shotguns are way cool. Anyway, just briefly wanted to touch on that and how disgusting that is. Before, I wanted to ask you guys, how'd you like the music?
So we're good.
Yes, I mean it's music that is not noticeable or notable in the way that you enjoy and experience it and don't think about it, and it's not
So
distraction.
you
It's
just
like
let it wash over you?
it's like the way camera work in a film should be, where great camera work is when you don't notice it at all.
Sure. I mean, there's times where you can break that rule, but generally,
Sure,
yes,
yeah, but like if you're watching a movie and the movie ever makes you think like, whoa, cool camera work, is like, I don't know, are you sure? Are you sure the camera work's not distracting you right now?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Um,
I definitely think that, you know, that what we were just talking about, how, like, you know, most of the time it should be in the background, but
Yeah.
every so often it should, like, announce itself and
well, especially in cutscenes.
and
Like,
enunciate a movement. So remember in Doom with the shotgun and at the same time,
Yeah.
like, that's a point where that rule gets broken in a very good way.
But I think in that situation, I think a lot of times people won't consciously notice that. Like I know my experience.
we did, right?
I know. So I played the Doom demo when it came out, and then
Sure.
I bought Doom and played through it again. Played through it from the start. The first time I played through it, I definitely just didn't notice, and I was just like, "Yeah, shotgun time, buddy."
Okay.
Like let's roll. Like I was like in that moment.
Sure.
But like the music becomes very noticeable in this game, like in the cutscenes, and I think
Yeah.
that's fine because it's like that's like a bit where you step back and become like less immersed and more cinematic. you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
interesting that the music is very different in combat and in cutscenes
Oh, totally.
too.
Yeah.
It's this very like
It's very
really
ten-
somber
well,
stuff
and
in
then, like
the cinematics.
tender. You know,
Yeah.
it's like that soft guitar.
Yeah,
and-
and then like when you're fucking plowing through 7 Nazis, it's like fucking Mick Gordon is halfway to Doom
Sure.
with the action music in this game. Like,
How do you feel about BJ's inner monologue?
I like that he
It's
thinks.
super hokey.
No, it's super hokey, but like, I like that he thinks it like because like
He thinks it's so cool.
he thinks it's so cool. He thinks it's so legit, and the way all the characters around him are written, like if they could hear inside his head, they'd be
like,
like,
you dork.
"Are you fucking for real?"
it's that for me, and it also scratches the Max Payne itch that I have
Sure,
for like
yeah,
bad
totally.
inner dialogue
Yeah,
in a way that was like I forgot about this coming into this game
how
again,
many Simon Vicklins?
but also like
so many.
but also like I was like, I know this is bad, but it's bad in a way I need right now. Like,
oh yeah, it's absolutely
like-
delicious.
like it's
It's,
honest with
um,
itself.
I was talking with
sometimes Christmas, sometimes birthdays.
Breathe in.
Shut up.
Oh man, that just reminded me of like maybe my favorite graphical tech in this game
Mm.
is when you're on the fucking night train and you have the tray with the coffees.
Oh yeah.
and it's got reactive coffee
Water?
tray
Yeah,
in
water,
front of
yeah.
you as you carry your coffees over to
Mhm.
Anya.
Um.
And fucking Frau Engel with that like fucked up like Voight-Kampff test she
Yep.
does on
Yeah.
you. it's this like completely arbitrary like she even like says afterwards like I'm
This
just
is bullshit,
I'm
yeah.
just fucking with you.
Yeah.
But that's what those like whether it's like racial purity or
it's
or party purity or whatever, it's completely bullshit arbitrary thing.
so the thing that this game does really, really well about Nazis and about that situation is it takes these things we know from history and pushes them into an even further extreme,
Mhm.
right? This society seems really cool if you're white and not Jewish and etc. And you can ignore the shit out of all of the horrible shit that's come to it.
Also,
like,
even being white and non-Jewish like isn't enough. Like
Right.
at the end of the game when you go like fucking chop up Frau Engel. Or
Yeah.
wait, no, that's the second game.
yeah,
Shit, fuck, I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Spoilers, dude.
Yeah, sorry.
So-
I think
but-
of these games as one.
But there's
there's kind
I
of
apologize.
there's so much in this game that like the camp sequence is this thing where it's like, yes, now they're getting to other people besides Jews into the camps.
Sure.
The-
Well, I mean, that was
always they did
But like it's more so there than
Czechoslovakia, dude.
yes, but it's more so there than what we've seen in the past and other things because it's the 60s and they've already chewed through most of
I'm
those
sorry.
people.
It's a personal pet peeve of mine that more Czechs died and nobody cares.
Fair.
So
I wasn't taught that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not denying it in any way.
and-
but-
so I'm not. That's what I'm saying. Is I'm
Yeah.
not mad at you. I'm mad at the
Yeah.
like all.
and homosexuals and Roma people.
Sure,
and,
right,
But
right.
no, I'm not saying that
Fucking-
those didn't happen. I'm just saying,
right.
No, but
Yeah.
my point's to Keenan.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and I can't deny any of that, right? But the thing about this game is it takes all of those things and it puts them right in your face in a way that like most games I don't think would have even tried, and
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
there's
about
a
it.
certain courage there.
And
like-
also like the really like maybe the most chilling part of when you get thrown in the camps is like it's all very very streamlined and uniform, which
Mhm.
like at least my understanding of like how concentration camps were like handled and processed during the war is or during the Third Reich I should say
Yeah.
is like it's actually not as uniform as everyone comes to expect. You think every concentration camp survivor is going to have a tattoo on their arm.
Right.
Some of them don't. Some of them have tattoos on their chest. Some of them don't.
Right.
You know, like this and that. And it's like it's really half-assed. Not half-assed, but it's like it's just all over the place.
Right.
And
Whereas
there's-
like in this game, it's the 60s and it's all been streamlined in
You
a
put
way
your-
that's like
you
corporate.
put
and
your arm in
weird.
the machine. You get tattooed.
Yeah.
They have a conveyor belt factory furnace.
Yeah.
For incinerating corpses.
They're literally conveying you in like meat.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
there's all these things in those sequences.
Was there a reason why BJ chopped the numbers off of his arm?
I mean, like
There's not like a stated reason. It's
I
like
mean-
they use it as a "fuck you Nazis" moment.
Yeah,
They don't
yeah.
use it
I mean,
as
like,
anything
if-
Sure,
else.
but I think it would have been more powerful again with the lunar gun, right?
Sure.
To have a touchstone of that moment.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
I mean,
so like in later games, like when he reaches up with
Oh,
his
sure.
left hand,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
and like
I honestly
reloads his
think
gun, if you see those three numbers there,
no, I think
like,
narratively, if they had kept it, it would be
It
way
would've
more
been way better.
interesting.
I don't know if I think it'd be better. Like I think it's also still a good character moment for him because like if any of the three of us had been unwillingly tattooed by Nazis,
Sure.
like what is your reaction to that mark on your body?
Right.
Right. Well, like so for me, like this goes back to Pillars of Eternity,
Mhm.
right? It's like Green Mother asked the question, if you had the ability to make someone forget their trauma, would you, even though that trauma is what makes them the person that they are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like which one is like more ethical? Which one should
Doing
you
it to someone else or doing it to yourself?
doing it to someone else, but like you could do it to yourself too, right?
Okay.
So like I'm not saying that you need to answer this question right now. That's
I
all.
have traumas I wouldn't mind forgetting.
Sure, but I'm saying like that just asking the question, right? Like
Yeah.
so for me, I think that there's value in remembering them because they are what made you what you are, right?
Yeah.
So
I counterpoint. BJ's not about to forget about the Nazis. He
Sure,
still lives on.
Sure, but the
Yeah.
player is about to the player is a very flighty and forgetful and irresponsible person.
Sure.
Right, that's all I'm saying.
Like also amusingly, like if you look at the him carving off his scar from his arm from like a realism perspective,
Mhm.
like he is going to have like a fucking ginormous
Massive
scar on
fucking
his
scar
arm,
on his arm instead.
like the
right?
size of like a fucking hot dog.
Mhm. Yeah, but he never has any scars from anything except for that time a castle blew up.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all.
The one time he got a scar.
Yeah, a castle blew up in his brain.
I think he has a shirt off in the second one. There's a lot of fucking scars on him, but
yeah,
like,
actually, that's a really good point.
yeah, like,
Um,
like the thing about BJ is that like he takes all this damage And part of the thing about why BJ's this like weird, messed up, tortured dude is because he's literally like.
Well, do you remember how the fight with Death's Head ends?
Yeah.
Death's Head sets off a frag grenade.
Yeah.
And like ruins the lower half of his body, and he crawls with his hands away from that, and like they definitely picked that up next game.
Yeah, like I didn't realize.
I hate to keep talking about the next game, but like that's like a thing that happened in this game, and
I seem to remember most of one arm was missing. Oh, both of his legs were missing, and then a whole nother arm was missing, and then the top of his head was missing. Are you saying he survived that?
I don't remember.
That's
playing
not
it
as
that
deep
way.
as it was
Yeah.
on mine.
Okay, that's what I remember.
He's just like gut mess
Yeah.
mostly. Like his limbs are
his
still
organs
there.
are fucked up.
Okay.
Like you're in a wheelchair for the first third of the game.
No, I was saying Death's Head, not.
Oh no, he's
no,
fucking
no,
gone.
I'm talking about Blazkowicz.
BJ.
Okay.
No,
BJ's a fucking like. His guts are hanging out in the last
so
cinematic.
that's very comforting of like why we had such disparate memories of this. We were actually talking about different things. No, Death's
Death's Head's
dead.
fucking done. Like
I'm talking about Blazkowicz.
Oh yeah, no, he's fine.
Like I'm just saying, No, he's not.
he's not fine.
You literally start with half hit points for like the first chunk.
Oh yeah,
of the
half
next
hit
game.
points. Yep.
No, but like
I know, I get what you're saying, but he's still like he's an invincible murder machine. That's my point.
kind of, and like you're like how do you tell the player that Blazkowicz is fucked up? Is like you take away his mobility and you take away his fucking invincible hit points, and like whatever.
Yeah.
It's a conversation for another day. Like
Yeah.
it's so hard to talk about just this game and not the second one too. Like
Yeah.
they definitely feel. They feel like they're delivering on what fucking Half-Life 2 always said it was going to do with the episodes.
Oh
like,
yeah.
like it actually feels episodic and not just like discrete games.
Right.
Because
With writing that actually goes somewhere.
well, and also like releasing on a faster time frame with more content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The J.J. Abrams of video games.
Yeah, man. What the fuck? This game. So weird. That
Any-
it's good-ish.
Anything else to say?
Is this the new B game?
Yeah, except it's a $60 game. I feel
Right,
like a
but,
B
like-
game can't be full price.
I feel like it's a B game in that like it doesn't
Are
need
you saying
to
a
be...
thing from the Bombcast that I don't know because I don't listen
No.
to that?
No, like so we don't have B grade games anymore.
Like-
the way of B movies, like we don't have a psyops, the Mind
Vermintide.
Gate conspiracy.
Vermintide
Eh.
was $40.
Yeah, actually, that's like.
But like price point isn't necessarily what a B grade game is to me.
Sure.
Like B grade game is like it's doing these things and it might be lacking in a narrative or it might be lacking in a tech or it might be
Vermintide.
like, absolutely.
no,
It's a good point.
you're right about Vermintide, but we also don't have a lot of.
We don't have a lot of
B.
B grade games.
Sure.
And I think like this is the B movie game if there is one.
Sure.
In that it's like Nazi hellscape, go fucking kill them all, like kind of thing.
Sure.
Okay. Awards time?
Yeah. It is the Not Real Game Awards, which is the part where we say the names of things we like to allude to a non-specific aesthetic.
I don't
And
like
then-
the way you describe that because I don't like Jeff Bezos.
Things we know to allude to a non-specific aesthetic and then give it a number grade, give the game we played a number grade based on how well it fulfills that non-specific aesthetic. First on the docket is Todd Bertram Howard. I don't know if that's his middle name. It's probably not.
Todd Bethesda Howard.
Todd Bethesda Howard.
Is his
I mean,
middle
does he
name.
get 1 point for
being a Bethesda game?
I guess we have to. Cause there's so many games where we give it zeros, and this is one that probably should get at least a little bit.
But it's
I mean,
so
'cause
like
there's a little bit of with the problems I had with the game. There's a little bit of that sort of
That's fair.
cardboard sort of Bethesda-ness. Cardboard's maybe not the right word, but do you understand what I'm saying? The sort of that Bethesda jank to it. Yeah.
I guess I never felt like anything was janky in it in the way I come to think of it with regards to Bethesda games. Like the times where the game didn't succeed or failed, it wasn't because mechanically or systematically under the hood something broke.
Mm,
It was just that they thought this button would be more noticeable than it fucking is.
sure.
You know.
Sure.
Or they didn't put in the right dialogue in your radio to be like, go push the button.
Yeah,
Like,
or our combat isn't visually readable,
right.
like in the way it should be.
I'm good at 1.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel
1
good
is
at-
fine.
I
I think
feel good.
1
I feel good at
yeah.
1.
One Town Howard.
Brandon Chung sitting at a 0
Yeah.
over here.
I'm gonna give it like a 2 because Brendan Chung loves immersive first-person shit in his games.
Like, what are you talking about?
Like carrying a fucking tray with a pair of coffees on it, or like operating a cement machine in a concentration camp. Like
There is a lot of weird, like, slice of life shit kind of slid
all this,
in.
all
I'm
this,
at 1.
all the stuff that's not a shooter. I want to give it 2 at least.
You talked me to 1.
Okay, where you
It's
at,
up to Keenan.
I think it's also I think too because the whole world is doing its own thing.
Yeah. That too.
Like-
It's like, and there's a lot of like weird, goofy shit going on in their
Mhm.
world.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can go with 2.
Nina Freeman.
Mm,
Again, I sit at 0.
Yeah, I could be convinced to give it a 1, but I don't think so.
and a 0.
Simon Vickland.
Oh, this is a 4.
5.
Some Vickland didn't score this, so I can't give it a 5.
Yeah, I feel like that's an unnecessary and never going to be fulfilled requirement. I don't think the games need to have the creators in them to get a 5.
Okay, I'm still giving it a 4.
Sure. So it's up to Keenan.
Yeah, I'm going 5. It's big and dumb and awful, and I love it.
All right. Jay Sawyer.
Like a 1 or a 2.
Well, I mean, there is the narrative that's going through here, and the
Yeah,
characters.
There
in it
are some
quite
actual
strong.
characters.
The
and,
characters
like,
are very
And
strong.
it's definitely a fleshed out world that like I want to.
Yeah, you were saying little tidbits.
Yeah, like I want to learn more than just what they give me. Like there's all these, you see like newspaper snippets that like show you like events in like the 20 years that you missed while you were in the hospital.
most of them are military events in this game.
Well, sure.
Most of them are like this battle, this surrender, this that.
But they always feel real.
Yeah.
You know, it always feels real and lived in. Like
Lived
they
in,
they
yeah.
talk about things that like have like almost no impact on you. On like fucking China's resolution.
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
I love
Japan.
that.
You know, like that stuff like makes the whole world feel very
Well,
real.
and even like on a character to character standpoint, like in the first game, it doesn't make a lot of sense why BJ and Wheelchair Lady are comparing their fucking injuries like it's a contest. But that's because she's in the prequel game, like
Oh, actually, that's like a weird thing. I looked into that because like I didn't play the last Wolfenstein game.
Okay.
And she's from that.
yeah.
And I had been told by a friend of mine that like this game actually plays into the timeline of that game, which is like not true. Because fucking Caroline Becker dies in that game, and it is like a fundamentally incompatible timeline. So it's like some like reboot type shit where it's like
Okay.
we carried over this character, people like her, but like it's not.
Is she from 2009?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like people like Caroline Becker. Caroline Becker's in this game. She's not quite how you remember her.
And like I like that there are all these characters that BJ knows that there is clearly a history and an understanding between them, including the villain in the first game.
Oh,
right?
sure.
Like clearly BJ and Death's Head have some fucking history, right? Because even like in the airplane at the beginning of the game, you're like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, right? Like he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this dude. Like there's this weird like
Yeah, but like I never got the sense that he knew him personally. It's more just like
Yeah.
every soldier going to Normandy knows that we need to kill fucking Himmler.
Right.
Okay.
You know, like, and everyone knows Himmler by name, and everyone knows what he looks like. That doesn't mean like every soldier like on the fucking drop boats has like met Himmler and has like a personal beef.
like a beef with him.
Okay,
but
so-
but he does say "I remember you" in the torture chamber when he cuts out.
Does he?
Wyatt's
Okay,
eye.
I
Yeah.
couldn't remember.
He goes,
Yeah.
I remember you. You're special." Right.
Okay.
So, and that to me said something like I was like, "Oh, is Totenkopf the reason I can't die? Like, did he experiment on me
Wait.
or some shit?"
I wonder if Death's Head's actually in the last game in the 09 one.
Maybe.
He probably is.
Yeah. So, yeah, we need a number for J.E. Sawyer. 2?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd give it a 2.
2? Really? Just
Yeah.
2? I feel like 3. Because it's like you're saying all this shit. Like the only J.E. Sawyer thing we're missing is like really enmeshed RPG mechanics.
Yeah.
Like
Actually, that reminds me of a thing.
Mm.
I'm gonna totally derail the
Whatever.
Real Game Award stuff for a minute. Like I was thinking about the two timeline stuff, the Fergus versus Wyatt thing.
yeah.
And like at first I was like kind of lukewarm on that as like a game design choice because like ultimately the game doesn't change very much.
No.
Like basically, like it's like a few scenes, and like what voice is talking to you over your radio.
Right.
Is like if you write it down in a bullet point list, like those are the
They are
changes.
completely replaceable by each other in a way that.
But I especially with like Kentucky Route Zero, I've been thinking more about like even just being presented with a choice, even if it's like a choice of not an enormous consequence, it still makes the things you see and the things you interact feel more authentic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like even though it's like this very minor
It
thing,
invests you.
yeah.
You were saying last time when we were talking about
It,
Kentucky Route
it
Zero.
invests you, and it also it makes it feel less like you're on an amusement park ride where just cardboard props are popping up.
It allows you a sense of ownership to what's going on because you've made the choices that got you here.
Even if it's just in this really
Yeah,
minor
It
thing.
de-theme park rises
Yeah.
a little bit. And last time you were saying that you read an interview or watched
It
an
was a
interview
thing on
with
Josh Sawyer's
with
thing.
Jay
Yeah,
Sawyer where he
that's
was
what
talking-
made me
he
think
was
of
talking
it.
about the minor dialogue really matters even if it doesn't affect the game.
Yeah, even if it
mechanics at
doesn't have like branching endings.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So 3.
all.
Yeah, 3. Okay.
Okay. Jeff Bezos, Owen's favorite award.
Let's just get 0 Jeff Bezos.
Why? There's fucking Nazis all over it. Keenan, how do you feel?
I think it's a 1 or a 2 based on the like bullshit corporate overlord shit going on in this game. Like,
Sure.
I stand by my 0.
All right.
You're always just trying to goad me with this.
like I'll go with a 1, but like I think there are things to be acknowledged here in a Jeff Bezos angle from our perspective.
Sure. 1 then.
Okay.
Turn out.
I don't know. 0.
0.
Yeah, no, nope.
There's nothing in here for that
Nope.
kind of gameplay.
I feel like Tarn wouldn't be offended. Like,
Yeah, no, you'd definitely be like, yeah, solid work, guys.
That's about right.
Although I would say, remember you were saying Tarn Adams would fit as an NPC in Kentucky Route Zero?
Yeah.
I think he, with a little bit of jiggering, he could fit.
Yeah, he's almost there. He's like almost there.
Could fit as an NPC in BJ Blazkowicz land. Jake Solomon. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of 0 on this one.
Yeah, I am too. Like, there's a lot of guns in it, and there are also in XCOM.
but like again, when you were saying like, oh, when I fail stealth, I don't restart the game.
Well,
Yeah.
there's not like an investment in any of these characters in the same like I've been through stuff as a player.
Well,
with
and
them.
also, it's not like personally created.
Right.
It's all
right. Like,
artifact.
Well, if
Zero.
Carolyn died, I'd be like, oh, okay. Well, I guess the story is doing that, right? I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, oh no.
And like
Right?
the thing about this game that I like is the people who die, like they don't die at points where it feels unnecessary. Like they die at these crescendo points in the game where it makes sense, right? Like there's bad shit going on and people die, and that's part of what fucking happens. You know, like
whatever the fuck the name is of Max Hawes's adoptive dad.
the Nazi.
Dead Nazi friends.
Yeah.
Dead friend Nazi. How many cardboard computers do we need to ship to the guys who made Wolfenstein?
I don't know. This is like 0.
I think 0. I think 0.
Yeah.
I think we're at 0. There's no like, well, because there's a lot of like weird shit, like fucking magician Jewish guys with. Does that count? I don't know.
You mean like the Das Yahud?
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about them much.
No,
did
we didn't. But like, there's like weird shit happening in the back, like weird surreal shit.
Like the fact that like literally the foundation of the entire Nazi world empire is crumbling because it's made out of stolen Jewish technology. Literally the cement
Made out of sabotage stolen Jewish
literally the
technology.
cement their empire is built on is crumbling because of this. It's rotting because
I'm gonna go with 1.
they did it wrong.
I'm gonna go with 1 cardboard computer.
Okay.
Because the whole like even just the world being run by Nazis is like weird, surreal, metaphysical shit, right? Like
Also, you sit in a wheelchair for 14 fucking years and don't lose muscle mass. Cardboard computer that shit.
I don't know if that's what that is.
Nope, he's an electro robot skeleton man.
no,
now,
it's just video games, yo.
it is my solemn duty to ask you: do we need to add another award?
I don't think so.
Okay, and it's not necessarily.
I think almost everything this game brings to the table is covered by the Simon Vickland Award.
Yeah. As evidenced by me ham fisting in a 5 there. We in the denouement We already talked about virtual reality
Uh-huh.
Extensively. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that again in
Oh
the
yeah, I
future.
didn't play Flotilla 2 at all.
Did you buy it?
I bought it,
Okay.
and then on Friday night I didn't want to clean my room enough to play VR. So I just sat on my ass and played different games.
That's pretty funny. And then where can they find us?
If you want to tell us about the plot and differences and irreconcilable differences of Wolfenstein 2009,
Oh yeah,
you can contact us at badplaystyle@gmail.com.
I am actually hella interested in that. I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna go read up.
There's
plot
like a
synopsis.
wiki I'm gonna go find,
So
right?
I opened up the wiki and looked at the Caroline Becker article, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is not quite what I expected."
Yeah. Okay.
Keenan, what's our Twitter account?
At Bad Playstyle.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's helmed by Keenan most of the time.
we received an engagement. Should we?
Oh, a single person commented on our thing on Reddit.
Yeah, we should talk about it because we want to encourage this kind of
Yay!
stuff. So what did this person say? I assume it's male because it's the internet. But...
Yeah, because
and I'm a horrible person, but this is, I believe, episode 30,
Okay.
yeah, that's correct.
which means we have to
End of season and
end the
dispense
season.
hats.
If my math is correct, it's Keenan again.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody have anything to say about that?
I'm not surprised.
Okay. Are you?
Sorry, I didn't know I was.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, I wanted to say one other thing about Wolfenstein that's really neat for me.
Sure.
The name of their resistance group is the name of the resistance group of the guy I'm related to who got killed by Nazis for starting a resistance group.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's neat. Yeah. If you see Nazis, you should fight them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I was gonna briefly touch on. I had an experience recently where I booted up XCOM 2, and I really wanted to play XCOM 2. I was super jazzed to do it. I was super jazzed to play that game. I was like, oh yeah, that game's super fun. And I had like a game that I was midway through, and then all my mods were out of date. And none of them had been updated, and I lost all desire to just instantly flaccid.
Yeah, I had something like that happen where I tried to play Long War once, and it was incompatible with my cosmetic mods that actually mean a lot to me.
Sure.
Because my character pool depends on them.
Right.
And if I can't bring my character pool, I ain't playing your mod.
Right. It's amazing to me how much cosmetics mean to me. Right, because they're just like stupid little.
Well, especially in a game like XCOM, because like they define what little we have about these people who we care about.
Sure.
All right.
But like I was like back in the day, there was like a certain combination of aesthetic or cosmetics that I could do, and I think it was the soldier, where I could have like his face covered and then 2 pairs of sunglasses over where his eyes should be,
Nice.
and that was my look. But then they like changed the way the summer sunglasses could interact with other stuff, and it was suddenly incompatible. And I was like, I felt very.
You took away my thing.
They took away. Yeah. My thing. Did you find it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Have fun editing this.
Yeah.
So this is from user 21we4.
Mm-hmm.
They said they liked the first 3 minutes of our Kentucky Route Zero discussion, and we have great insights in the first 3 minutes.
Well, I hope that you listen to the other 137 minutes.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Because if you do, there's a special prize for you.
Yeah. There's a special prize for you, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah, we did promise that.
Yeah, we
didn't
did. We did. So if he contacts us, we'll do it. We're not Welchers.
So I think there's 3 points of order I have here.
Okay.
1, this is actually a sequel to that 2009 Wolfenstein game. I just looked it up. That's fucking weird.
It's supposed to be a sequel. Then how is Becker alive?
I don't know, man.
So I've heard that said too. I think that's bullshit.
There's some shit in the wiki about it being like an alternate dimension. It's dumb shit.
That. This is like that shit with the Zelda stuff.
Yep.
They put it.
Yep.
Nintendo
Yep.
put out the fucking
Yep.
book
Yep.
that talks about how all the timelines in Zelda are like linked together.
Right.
But it's like
But
this
they're not-
fan theory that Nintendo then like adopted
Yeah.
as being true.
But it has huge holes in it.
So
Yeah.
number 2, we already talked about it a little bit. BJ versus Sam Fisher.
Well, okay. So was this because that's the last thing that happens on the podcast.
Well, there's one more thing, which
Okay,
is
so
I
you
announced
should-
the next game, but that's
You should-
the end.
No, you should say that now because. Yeah, you should say, what game are we
How
playing?
does Sam Fisher keep moving?
No,
I don't
it's
understand.
the last thing, and I just told you that. Why aren't you listening to me?
Because
What's
it
the
hasn't always been.
It's always been. What's the
next game we're going to play is Metro 2033 Redux.
Okay, I'm excited about that.
Cool.
Because I played the original like way back.
Yeah,
So I'm excited to play.
it's like Stalker apparently, but not.
Well, it's Russian.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say on? No, you had nothing. Okay, so Sam Fisher versus
Sam Fisher versus.
Sam Fisher versus BJ Blazkowicz. Where are they fighting?
It doesn't matter.
It was my game. I get to pick. I get to pick what the scenario is. Okay, so so it's a defense. So BJ Blazkowicz is in a Nazi castle that he just killed everyone in.
Okay.
And he's at the top of it, chilling, waiting for his helicopter, and Sam Fisher has to kill him. He has to get there and kill him.
Okay.
So
Bad news. BJ Blazkowicz is mad invincible, bro. You get fucked up. Like, yeah, you jumped up and you stabbed him, and he doesn't care because he got stabbed 8 times this week, and he fucking kills
But do you think he could, like, shoot out a chandelier in his head or something?
No,
I give it like a
50.
50-50.
50, you think it's like a coin
Like,
flip?
I know that's like a cop-out, but, like, because, like, if Sam Fisher, like, I think this is, like, maybe one of the times where, like, Sam Fisher can, like, execute well. Like it's, like, a big empty environment, and he needs to shoot another human with a gun until he dies.
Right.
And, like, yeah, Sam Fisher can, like, fucking skulk around.
Yeah.
Also, BJ Blazkowicz is invincible, can run 85 miles an hour, and has access to all kinds of weird, fucked up guns.
And is a human truck. Like,
yeah.
Look, so the point of the scenario I just gave you is that BJ has already picked up all the power ups and weapon. Like, he has his full arsenal, and he's at 225 and 100 armor, and he's good.
Yeah.
Right. But then
and his laser craft work has all the upgrades.
Right. But at the same time, Sam has the ability to choose the point of engagement and plan this whole thing out.
So I might give it to Sam.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna. The listeners won't know about this. Matt here the other day posed on Facebook a dilemma of who would win in a fight, Thomas the Tank Engine or Clifford the Red Dog.
Okay.
And I
it was a good conversation, by the way.
So
I liked it.
I had it with the kids, and I thought I'd just bring it to Facebook.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't really want to tear into my thought process in that thread.
Okay.
Because it's like...
Well, why not? But anyway,
it's exhausting to argue on Facebook.
Okay.
Especially since, like...
I hope you'll note that I did not argue at any point. I just posted facts and figures.
No, it's more that, like, every time I reply to a thing, an infinite number of people can jump into the reply to that. And just thinking about that, like, makes me fucking tired. Thomas the Tank Engine runs on rails. He doesn't get to choose when and where he fights Clifford.
Right.
Clifford also only needs to bump him off the rails a little bit. And I think in this way, Thomas the Tank Engine is very like BJ Blazkowicz.
Right.
That, like, he's just a freight train rolling around. And Sam Fisher's the one who gets to jump out of a closet and shoot him in the ear with a gun.
All Sam needs is a penny, right? In the right place. Like,
Right.
Or, like, fucking electrocute him or
so
whatever.
just to reiterate, we did my initial calculations were totally wrong, and we did some more calculations. Apparently, there is an official size stated from, like, official sources about how big Clifford is.
I think that's bullshit.
Even though the art is totally inconsistent, there is an official size stated. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you base that and you do the density of a normal Labrador and then do the weight calculations, there's no fucking way Clifford loses.
Yeah.
It's,
well, like, I was just thinking, like also, like, when you, like, put that number and it was like, so, like, mammals are, like, 98% water or whatever. Like, if Thomas the Tank Engine ran into a piece of ice the size of Clifford, Thomas the Tank Engine would fucking crumple.
Yeah.
You know, or like a tank, like, if a tidal wave the size of Clifford hit Thomas, like, he'd be done.
Anyway, yeah. We're on Clifford.
Cool.
Wow, this podcast really fucking
Sam
went off the
Fisher
rails
kind of
at the
wins,
end.
I think.
Sam Fisher, he finally won.
Yeah.
He finally won because BJ is so fucking stupid, and like you said, he's on rails. He's a freight train.
And like I'll give him the win, but for, like, in my head, it's just like, I don't know, like, it's a unstoppable force.
Also, like, Sam Fisher excels at disposing of people who run at a target and shoot.
Right.
And that is what BJ does.
People who are dumb as hell.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is, BJ, he's one step up from, like, Time Crisis rail shooter.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's one order of complexity higher than that, right? So, whereas, Sam can run through the vents and shit.
Yeah. Or, like, airstrike him or whatever. Like,
whatever needs to happen. Yeah.
Cool. Good
job,
job, Sam.
Thanks for joining us. We on September the 12th, Shame Boy runs out, and on September the 25th, Chapstick runs out. Owen is not getting a new nickname. Keenan is. He now
gets another one after that.
Yeah, he's got 2 in the chamber. So just keeping you guys updated on that. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Please go listen to the Kentucky Route Zero the Kentucky Route Zero episode. If you listen to the whole thing, there's a special prize for you at the end.
Yeah. Except podcasts receive treasure.
Bye, friends.
Our theme music is made by my good friend Benjamin Busey. You can find his SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/basicbenji206.